I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich, okay? We need to get out there, use your weapons, and rip Washington apart.
Good morning. It's April 25th, 2018. I'm Eric. I'm at Zero Hedge. This article is from John Whitehead of the Rutherford Institute. Is the U.S. government evil? You tell me. This is a government that treats its citizens like faceless statistics and economic units to be bought, sold, bartered, traded, tracked, tortured, and eventually eliminated once they've outgrown their usefulness. This is a government that treats human beings like lab rats to be caged, branded, experimented on, and then discarded and left to suffer from the after effects. This is a government that repeatedly lies, cheats, steals, spies, kills, maims, enslaves, breaks the laws, overreaches its authority, and abuses its power at almost every turn. This is a government that wages wars for profit, jails its own people for profit, and then turns a blind eye and a deaf ear while its henchmen rape and kill and pillage. No, this is not a government that can be trusted to do what is right and moral or humane or honorable, but instead seems to gravitate towards corruption, malevolence, misconduct, greed, cruelty, brutality, and injustice. This is not a government you should trust with your life, your loved ones, your livelihood, or your freedoms. This is the face of evil, disguised as democracy, sold to the people as an institution that has their best interests at heart. Don't fall for the lie. The government has never had our best interests at heart. Endless wars. The government didn't have our best interest at heart when it propelled us into endless oil-fueled wars and military occupations in the Middle East that wreaked havoc on our economy, stretched thin our military resources, and subjected us to horrific blowback. A police state. There's no way the government has our best interests at heart when it passed laws subjecting us to all manner of invasive searches and surveillance, censoring our speech and stifling our expression, rendering us anti-government extremists for daring to disagree with its dictates, locking us up for criticizing government policies on social media, encouraging Americans to spy and snitch on their fellow citizens, and allowing government agents to grope, strip search, taser, shoot, and kill us. Battlefield America. Certainly, the government did not have our best interest at heart when it turned America into a battlefield, transforming law enforcement agencies into extensions of the military, conducting military drills on domestic soil, distributing free military equipment and weaponry to local police, and desensitizing Americans to the menace of the police state with active shooter drills, color-coded terror alerts, and randomly conducted security checkpoints at soft targets such as shopping malls and sports arenas. Secret human experimentation. One would also be hard-pressed to suggest that the American government had our best interests at heart when it conducted secret experiments on an unsuspecting populace, citizens and non-citizens alike, making healthy people sick by spraying them with chemicals, injecting them with infectious diseases, and exposing them to airborne toxins. The government reasoned that it was legitimate and cheaper to experiment on people who do not have full rights in society, such as prisoners, mental patients, and poor blacks. For instance, there was the CIA's Cold War era program MK-Ultra, in which government began secretly experimenting on hundreds of unsuspecting American civilians and military personnel by dosing them with LSD, some having the hallucinogenic drug secretly slipped into their drinks so that the government could explore its use or uses in brainwashing and controlling targets. The CIA spent nearly $20 million on its MK-Ultra program, reportedly as a means of programming people to carry out assassinations, and to a lesser degree, inciting or inducing anxieties and erasing memories before it supposedly shut down. And didn't shut down, people. They just changed the name. Sounds like the stuff of conspiracy theorists, I know, but the government's track record of treating Americans like lab rats has been well documented, including its attempts to expose whole communities to various toxins as part of its efforts to develop lethal biological weapons and study their impact and delivery methods on unsuspecting populations. John Lennon was right. We're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends. Unfortunately, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Just recently, for example, a fusion center in Washington State inadvertently released records on remote mind control tactics, the use of psychoelectronic weapons to control people from a distance or subject them to varying degrees of pain. Mind you, there is no clear evidence to suggest that these particular documents were created by a government agency. Then again, the government, no stranger to diabolical deeds or shady experiments carried out on an unsuspecting populace, has done it before. After all, this is a government that has become almost indistinguishable from the evil it claims to be fighting, whether that evil takes the form of terrorism, torture, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, murder, violence, theft, pornography, scientific experimentation, or some other diabolical means of inflicting pain, suffering, and servitude on humanity. For too long now, as I make clear in my book, Battlefield America, the war on the American people have been persuaded to barter their freedoms for phantom promises of security, and in the process have rationalized turning a blind eye to all manner of government wrongdoing, asset forfeiture schemes, corruptions, surveillance, endless wars, SWAT team raids, militarized police, profit-driven private prisons, and so on. Because They were the so-called lesser of two evils. No matter how you rationalize it, the lesser of two evils is still evil. So, how do you fight back? How do you fight injustice? What do you push back, or, how do you push back against tyranny? How do you vanquish evil? Well, you don't fight it by hiding your head in the sand. Stop being apathetic. Stop being neutral. Stop being accomplices. Start recognizing evil and injustice and tyranny for what they are. Demand government transparency. Vote with your feet. Refuse to play politics with your principles. Don't settle for the lesser of two evils. I like John Whitehead, but he doesn't go far enough. You don't simply refuse to play politics with your principles. You destroy that system. You burn that motherfucker to the ground until there's nothing left of it. That is the solution for vanquishing the evil that is all around us on a daily basis. Till next time, kill the state before it kills you.